Hi, our name is Paula and Carlos, and today we're gonna be discussing via the text that was handed by the teacher and these images, the importance of fake news.
Okay, the first question say, how do you objectify the reality of fake news in these images? Without a doubt, it is easy to mention and identify that fake news is false because what it mentioned is very convenient for certain type of people, as is in the example of the first image, which mentioned that there were no victims at the time of the Titanic sank. This news could be because the company of safe ship wanted to have its reputation clean. Okay. The second question mentioned, how are the first two images different from the others? The first difference can be found based on the first two images to the others. What will be the different time in which both news are found? There is an abysmal difference in dates between these news. Another difference can be observed in this case is that the first two stories are mentioned to highly exaggerated and drastic arguments or data, unlike the others. The question number three says, what do you think is the purpose of publishing this news? What is the purpose behind the creation of fake news in general? After examining the images, various reasons are identified as to why this history had sufficient motives and objectives to generate fake news at this time. In this case, these reasons will include sensationalism, political or ideological motivations, economic benefits, and spreading rumors. The question number four said, what are the consequences of posting fake news? After researching in different media and investigating different positions, it is argued that publishing fake news can have a series of consequences for society and the people involved. Some of the most important repercussions can be disinformation, erosion of truths, and security risk. And the question number five mentioned that identified other fake news or social media and discuss the purpose of posting. One example can be in January of the year 1835, in the newspaper called the New York Sun, broke the surprising news saying that the English astronomer had discovered life on the moon through a telescope. When the truth came to light, various media named it the news of the century. The main objective of this news was with the objective of causing controversy and furor in the society.
Okay, now for question number six, which is based on what elements would you say these types of publications have an objective position? Some elements that we identified via the text and images are information that can be verified. It is very important to use reliable sources when getting this information, and then building well-established arguments to really help the information get across, and not using personal opinions. These elements collectively will contribute to news having an objective position, ensuring that this information is accurate, unbiased, and valuable for the audiences. Question number seven, which is what discursive techniques help empower the speech to express one's position. The images presented here employ several discursive techniques to express their position and the impact on the internet, the spread of fake news, and the challenges related to reliable information. Some of these are using anecdotal evidence and specific examples, then having credible references in historical context, being really descriptive and including expert testimonies. And we consider that these discursive techniques collectively help the speech to express the author's position by making the content way more engaging and credible, while also being emotional and thought-provoking. So for question number eight, which is what criteria are used to measure an effective discourse, we identify that for measuring the effectiveness of these discourses, it is important to evaluate how well the message or news that are meant to communicate achieve their intended purpose, conveys information, and as well engages the audience. So some of these criteria identified are how well the audience understands the message, the engagement of the audience via showing interest and follow-up questions. And then another criteria, it's how accurate and truthful the information is. False or misleading information can affect the effectiveness of a discourse. And then finally, having evidence and support. we consider that using statistics, research findings, expert opinions, or real-world examples boost the effectiveness of a discourse. And then finally, for question number 9, which is what formatting strategies are used to promote a greater impact on the reader of the news. In the text, we identify how fake news have become a significant issue, influencing public opinion, political decisions, and social thinking. So it is important to understand the formatting strategies they use to promote a greater impact on the readers. This being having a strong opening statement, which is essential to engage the audience, using different terminology that regard the topic discussed to highlight the importance of it, and then finally, images to enhance the reader. Thank you very much.